Um, in in my opinion, I think life always unfair
Mm.
because when we were born, uh, we are really different between ex people about capable. So I think that's why we are different, and the fear not exist in our society, and we have to accept that like rules in our life. I think so.
So you mean that in your case, you already accepted that life is unfair.
Mm.
I'm coughing. So other people cannot accept or they keep on complaining because yeah, they said that life is really unfair. But in your case, how did you accept?
Um, Maybe I'm still not really clear about the unfair in my life as some other people, but I always think really hard for we can find out the fair for everyone. And in other hand, our government try to control our society for the big quantity people with the most benefit, and also the smaller people have had or received the unfair. That's pretty normal because the fair not exists for everyone. And in my case, I think everything happening with me also really advantage. And although I always think the unfair is uh, really exists, but in my life, I think my life really good, and I have a many opportunity for I can earn money, or I can find the good place for I can stay or living. So I think the life really good for me, and that's why there are many other people that's also unfair. I think so.
So just a question, in your life, you haven't experienced unfair treatment?
Mm, I think yes, because I was born in a family with my parent is a farmer. So in the first point when I was born, I think the life is unfair for me. When I don't have enough the condition, the best condition for I can develop, or like learning with the best school or many other things. But I think that's pretty fair with many other people. When there are many people really success, they also was born in the poor family, but when they understand that and they try with my best, I think they possible to build up a better life, and that's really fair. And with many
So,
other people, they were born in the rich family, so they don't understand, and they have many things, and they never try with my best with their best, so the finally they don't have anything. So one thing I always think the life is unfair, but the other thing I also agree the life is fair.
oh, really? I cannot understand. So where do you draw the line? I mean, what's the difference when you think that it's fair and then you think it's unfair?
Maybe in the first point when I was born, the life is unfair, but the life really fair for the people. They really want to try my best, and that's also the fair for the people hardworking if they understand about their life. I think so.
So by understanding life, it will become fair.
Mm.
In my opinion, I believe that life is really unfair, but we just really need to accept that. We have to accept that it is really unfair. So,
Yes.
in your experience, what's the most unfair situation that you have encountered or experienced?
Mm. Um,
I think nothing because you're lucky.
maybe because I think everything in my life pretty advantage, and I don't think the unfair happening with me. I think so.
Wow. That's so nice, Cam. Congratulations. A lot of people right now, they keep on complaining that their life is not good because everything is so unfair.
Mm.
But even when you were young, you didn't experience.
Um, I think really difficult when I talk about some unfair in my life, because when I compare my position in every time with many other people, I also think maybe in with many other people I also um, have better life than other people, and I also have the life not good as many other people. So I think really hard for I can compare with many other people. I think I just to find the suitable for me in my life is the best thing. I think so.
Like what you said before, like thinking that you cannot go to universities because your parents are farmers. So do you think that life is unfair? And did you question why I cannot go to good school? Is it because my parents were farmer? You did not have this kind of thinking.
Um, I think when I was born in a family in a farmer family, I think I don't have any occasion to learn about the higher thing in uh, in our society, because my parents just understand about the plant and how they can plant any tree they want. They don't know understand about the economic, about the political, and many other things. So I think that is the unfair for me. But other side, I think the life pretty fair when I understand about the hardworking of my parents, and I try my best, and I always change my position in our society by hardworking or learning, and I think that is the good motivate for me achieve many higher position.
Motivation.
Mm.
I'm trying to let you realize that life is unfair. Yeah, do you think like you did not ask why should I work hard and others don't? Life is unfair. I should not work hard. Did you tell yourself?
I think when I was born in a farmer family, I think the best lesson is hardworking, and that's also either cause or the main reason to put me achieve many higher position. I think that is a good way. Although sometimes I feel really poor or many other things really hard. I think so.
Wow. That's great, God. My goodness, your principle is very strong when it comes to that. I'm trying to let you realize that life is really unfair, but your principle is really strong and it's unyielding. It means it doesn't change easily. So that's good. Congratulations. Because like there are many farmers, of course, not only in Vietnam but in the Philippines as well. So they're always in the poorest sector of the society, and they think that life is really unfair because they cannot, of course, choose whatever school that they want. And some of the farmers' kids cannot really go to school. So they think that life is unfair also. And I think you're right. Like the right motivation will actually set you to your success. Because when you were young and you were born in this kind of family, so you were motivated that I'm poor and I cannot get this and life is unfair. So maybe it's okay for me not to work hard. But your motivation is good, right? That your parents are farmers, so that you need to work hard, and that's what happened to you right now. I understand. Congratulations. It's a very good lesson in life. Okay, so now let's go to the essay that we have here. So what did you understand in the two paragraphs?
In the first paragraph, I think the unfair always happened with the people when they lack money or physical condition, and that's really true in my country. When the people with higher or richer, they easy to change the condition, especially when they have some problem with the law, and they can easy to use money to change for the for many things with advantage for them.
So we have here the last paragraph come. The deprived quite understandably insist the situation is unfair, that society is not in order in favor of existing standards of income, status, or appearance. So it means that the society is not really fair because we have some standards that we always have to follow. Do you think your society right now is fair to everyone?
No, I think our society is just fair for the big quantity of people without the minority people.
Without the minority?
I can saw that problem in our society really clear when I can see many minority people on the high land. They lack many conditions like electricity, water, clean water, or many other things really poor. So I think that is unfair for them. And while the urban in the big city really confidence life, and that's also the difference between the life of city and the life in the countryside. And I think that is the other side of unfair.
Okay, so you mean about the style of living. And we have here come on the second paragraph, it is said that it doesn't matter who you are, whether you are poor or rich, as long as the same rules are applied, everything is fair. Do you think so?
Yes, I always think when every people in my country always to apply the same rules for everyone, but really hard because sometimes I saw many rich people. They easy to exist or exist without there are some problems when they have a lot of money. So maybe I think that's unfair for the rich people or the poor people. And the best way is we have to apply the rules or a law for every people. Don't care about how they have a lot of money.
Oh, so you mean that even if you are rich or poor, it doesn't matter. We need to apply the same rules. The same.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Mm.
So, do you want to have the same tax with those people who are very rich?
Uh,
We should apply the same rule.
I don't think so.
I'm not fighting against you. I'm just testing your principle because you said so that even though you are rich or poor, you need to have the same rule and that will be fair. How about applying the same tax to everyone, regardless of your status?
I think very difficult when we can apply the same rules for everyone, and that's that is a big unfair in our society. I think so.
Have you heard about the saying, for every rule, there is an exception?
No, I never heard about that.
And now you heard about it.
Mm.
For every rule, there is an exception. Exception, it means you are not included. Okay? So for every rule that the government will make, there will be people that will not be included in the rule. For example, the traffic rules. So if you're a police, maybe the rules in traffic will not be applied to you. It means you are an exception.
Yes.
Got it?
Uh,
If you can pay money,
mm,
you are an exception to the rule. But if you cannot, you are not exception to the rule. You need to follow the rules. You need to
yeah.
obey. Right?
Yes.
So
Mm.
that's a very concrete example. So this topic is actually being debated for how many years come? Like, is life fair? Are the rules in our society fair or unfair? Especially when it comes to politics. Especially right now during the coronavirus. Like when we find the vaccine, have you heard about it that we already found the vaccine and they tested it and it's actually working. They said, but the question is, can everybody afford this vaccine?
Mm.
Or can everybody will have a fair share of this vaccine? So that's the biggest issue right now because many
Yes.
people are thinking that this COVID or this virus is a business and it won't be fair for people who don't have money. Obviously, because they cannot. So Cam, that many people right now are afraid if they're sick because the hospital will let them have a swab test. You know what's a swab test?
No.
They will get something from your tongue and they will examine it to know if you have COVID-19. And you need to pay 3 million just for that test. And it's not sure if it's correct or not.
Mhm.
So a lot have been happening because of it, and people are saying that it's not unfair. But you know, even before, life is really unfair. Whether you are rich or you're poor, life is really unfair. Do you think some countries come, they are aiming to have like they're thinking that they want to reach a status where everybody will be equal. Do you think we can achieve that?
Um, I don't think so. I think nowadays our world uh, really unfair for every people when the small quantity of people really rich or they can own the biggest property of our society, but with the most of the other people they don't have any own property, and we really difficult when we want uh, uh, to equal property for everyone, because the the capable of X people really different. And when I have a higher capable, I also earn a lot of money than the lower, and that's the problem. That's why we really difficult for when we want to equal property for every people, and that's why the rich and the poor uh, always to exist in our society.
Understand what you mean. It means our capacity are different from each other. So I just want to share to you when I was studying in university, we studied about different forms of government. And we come up with this kind of government and it is called socialist government. Maybe you've heard about this because China said they are a socialist government.
Maybe
And
the same with Vietnam.
Vietnam. Yes, and the principle of socialist government is that it will be a classless society. When we say classless, there will be no poor and there will be no rich. Everyone will have the same status. So, if tomorrow we need to plant, every people will plant. Okay? You will not be richer than me, and I will not be poorer than you. That's the kind of society that this kind of government is imagining. Everyone will be equal. No rich and no poor.
Mm. I think the socialist like China or Vietnam not exist, because the most or the best motivation for people to achieve many property is the money, or you can think the money is the best motivation to push every people hardworking or thinking about the plan business or many other things. So when we live in a society, and especially when our government want to the same income or the not different status between its people, I think that not exist, because the most important to put our society developed as today is the uh, is the debt of people. When they really want to earn a lot of money, they can.
Okay, wow. So you don't agree? But you know, Cam, there's this a lot of we keep on debating about that. But we know in Vietnam it's not yet a socialist country; it's a communist country, and but China is claiming that they are already a socialist country. And then many politicians are saying that we cannot achieve socialist kind of government. It's impossible to have it. And I also agree with that. Okay, so let's go to the question number one. What causes some people to be treated differently? I mean, what are some of the causes why some people will think or will be treated unfairly?
I think the problem is lack of money and physical condition.
Physical condition and lack of. I'm so shocked with the physical condition. What kind of physical condition are you talking about? Ugly.
Um, like how they earn property or many other things like healthy, um, capable or status.
Status in life, yes. Okay. So those are the factors or those are the things, maybe those are the reasons why people are being treated differently or unfairly. Number one is actually the status, right? So just one simple example, maybe we have talked about it before, that there was this pregnant woman who is about to give birth, but she was not allowed inside the hospital because she does not have money to pay for the initial bill. It means that her status in life is not good. So she was not being treated fairly. But if you have a lot of money, you can comfortably or easily go inside the hospital. Okay, that's it. Oh, we're so intelligent about the society. Just kidding. Number two, how are minorities discriminated against? If you belong to a minority group, example of this come are ethnic people.
I think we should to achieve many. I think the best way is try to do most of people can achieve with the best with the many opportunity for they can more success. I think that is the best way to support the minority people.
What do you mean by that? The question is how are minorities discriminated against? For example, because they live in a remote area, they cannot have an easy access to education. So some of them cannot go to school, or most of them cannot go to school because it's not easy for them to go to school. That's one of the example.
I think we make the education or the fee of education really popular or really cheap for everyone can approaching. I think that is the best way.
Self-study. Yeah, self-study. I guess that would do. So let's have number three. Why isn't discrimination unfair from one point of view? Because according to the essay, it has 2 point of views, right? The first point of view is that life is fair, but the other point of view is that it's not unfair. Or this. So why do you think discrimination is not unfair?
Can you tell me the meaning of discrimination? I don't remember.
Discrimination.
Hmm.
Discrimination is when you try to think that other people's are lower
Mm,
than you.
okay. Maybe I think the unfairness always happen uh, for the discrimination because they maybe they depend on the minority people or small group. small group, and our government with the limited cost, thus to focus on the big quantity, not for the small group. And that's also the same with many other country, I think so.
Yes, I believe in that. That's the reason why there are poor people, many poor people. But I guess in some countries are doing good, Cam. Do you think so? Like your country is doing good? Because I know in Vietnam there are still poor people, but I think in my own opinion only, what's the best thing about in Vietnam is that food is not really expensive. No, this is true because food is the basic need of people. And when you make the basic need expensive, it will be unfair to people, especially to poor people, because they cannot afford it. The more that you make it expensive, the more that it will become unfair, especially for the minority. So I think in that area alone, Vietnam is doing good because the food is not expensive. No, that's my observation when it comes to the society. Like the rate of unfairness is not really very high because I do believe that the government should prioritize the basic needs of its people because that's the most important one in order for us to live every day. What do you think about it?
About why Vietnam, why my country really rich when the food everywhere and really cheap.
Yeah.
I think that's easy to understand because about 70% of Vietnamese people also either farmer and they also own really a lot of land for planting rice. And that's why we never feel the hungry when crisis everywhere. And for example, when I fail in my business, I easy to come back to my countryside. And at that time, my mother also to willing to treat it with me really happy because my mother earned really a lot of rice, and I never concerned about food.
Wow, that's amazing. Yes. No, this is actually a big problem, Come. I'm not joking. And maybe it sounds funny when we talk about it, when we talk about food. But that's a very big problem. Because I cannot understand why other countries, when you say that Vietnam has a lot of land to plant, has a lot of rice,
Mm.
well, the Philippines also has a lot of land and has a lot of farmers and a lot of rice. But the question is, why is it still expensive? Yes. So there is
I think,
something wrong.
for example, when some foreigner to go to Vietnam, they think in the first they think Vietnam is a poor country, and uh, and when they went to Vietnam and they have many experience in Vietnam, they think uh, Vietnam not the poor country because although for example the basic salary for employer in Vietnam really low, but the quality of food and the quality of life of Vietnamese people really high, even higher than many developed country on the world. Because we have the Vietnamese people really like and happy when they like receive many free from our government,
Subsidy.
and that's why we have to low cost in life, and the food is the most important basics for each people. So that's why uh, our government try to control with the lower price.
Yes, I truly get that when you said that foreigners think that Vietnam is a poor country. Because yeah, when I told you, right, I told my family that I will be coming to Vietnam, and they asked me why did I choose Vietnam. And then when I keep on talking about Vietnam about, to my mother asked me, I thought Vietnam is a poor country, and blah 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 blah. Yes.
And yes, actually, I really like to when I was born in my country, or especially I'm living in Vietnam. I really like because when I compare the life between the Vietnamese people and the China, in China the people working really hard,
Mm.
and in Vietnam we working not hard as the China, but we have a many free time for coffee
Mm.
shop, free time for shopping, for many other things, and especially in the summer you can see really clearly when the ordinary people really close when they spend many time when in the beer shop, and the life in Vietnam really enjoy even though they working not hard as many other people. I think so.
Yes, I totally agree to that and to what you said a while ago that even though the basic salary in Vietnam is not that high, but it's still okay or it's quite fair because the basic needs or the basic commodities are not expensive. But in other countries, the basic salary is like the same in Vietnam, I guess so. When you go to the Philippines, for ordinary workers, the basic salary is also the same, like 5 million or lower than that sometimes. But the basic needs are very expensive. So most of the times, your salary is more, your basic needs is more than your basic salary. So how do you think you can survive?
I think easy understand when you can see the fee of hospital in Vietnam really low. Even though nearby time, our government to put every hospital to depend their price, but the fee of hospital in Vietnam really low, and the price of food really low, and many other transportation really low. So that's either why to make the price in Vietnam really cheap and easy for every people can living in Vietnam. And I think in my case, I think you can ask the friend or the relationship come to Vietnam.
I will ask them maybe after the coronavirus.
Yes. And nowadays our government to all of foreigner can buy the real estate, and that's is the good way to living in Vietnam.
No, I think you cannot buy a property if you're not married to a foreigner in that country, right?
I think nowadays the foreigner can earn the a house or real estate in Vietnam. That
Really? Oh, business. Oh my
because
God.
we will need the money outside to put or develop our economic, and that's is a good way
Hmm.
when the money outside or out of country to come back Vietnam and for put our economic.
Wow, that's a very good idea, Cam. Because I think living in Vietnam is, although there's a lot of maybe some are a bit negative, but actually living in Vietnam is quite good compared to any other countries. And I can say that also compared to the Philippines. Well, I love the Philippines. I could never also exchange that to other, but the quality of living is really different, even in the countryside. So when you go to the Philippines, even in the countryside, it's still expensive.
Mm.
So it's really different. So I keep on thinking, should I go home or should I not go home?
I hope in when the coronavirus finished and controlled, I will to Philippines for understand about the life. I think so.
Wow.
Yes, my wife really like traveling, and I just want to take my wife go to go many other countries, and
Yeah.
Philippines, Thailand, and Singapore. That's is the near place we can travel.
Yes. But I guess you have to travel in Vietnam first.
Yes.
You have to make that as your goal. Travel in Vietnam first, and then in the
Yes.
Asian countries. So let's hope that the coronavirus will be gone come so that you can travel. Okay, so let's have question in number one. Is life fair in your case?
Yes, I also think my life pretty fair when maybe I will lose some opportunity, but I also have many other opportunity for my life.
That's a very good mindset. I mean, do you have any complaints in your life right now?
No, I never complain about my life. I just complain about the money.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's have number two. Is life worth living even if not fair? Oh my goodness, that's a very good question.
What does it mean?
Worth, it means um how it's meaningful.
Mm, yes, I think so. Lot unfair or fair. That's also the complaint of each people.
Mm.
But we just live alone. We just live only one time. So life is the best experience we should to live it.
Wow. I guess so. And having unfairness in life are also a part of living. If we experience these difficulties, this unfairness, the more that it will make our life more meaningful and worthy to live. So number three, what determines the fairness of any given situation? How will how will a situation become fair?
How will situation become fair?
Yes.
Um, I think depend on each people, but in my case, I think I'm not sure about that. Really hard.
It's a case to case basis, maybe. Because for sure, we already talked about that life is really unfair. So the question in number three is what determines the fairness of any given situation? For example, there are two people, the poor and the rich, and you will be taxed. How can you make it fair to both the rich and the poor?
Of course, I will vote for the rich people because the rich people also the thing they have a many ability or they more understanding about many other things and the rich people that's also the meaning they can earn money a lot than other people so the capable really high and that's why I have to choose the rich people because they will to put our society uh, better than the poor people.
Really? Huh? So it means that the poor people will not put the society in good situation?
um, I don't think so but For the I also do uh, prioritize the rich people than the poor.
Hmm. Okay. I understand actually what you mean. I'm just asking. Okay, number four. Why can't we free ourselves from unfair environments? It's impossible, right? We talked about it a while ago. It's impossible to have an equal society. Why is it so?
Free ourselves from unfair environment. Maybe we live and depend really strong about environment. So when we live in the unfair environment, we also feel the unfair for ourselves, and that's why we really difficult to find the free.
Means we cannot really free ourselves. We cannot free ourselves. Yes or no?
Mm, in my case, I think I can feel free for myself.
Wow! Very powerful. Okay, if that's your
And,
answer, because we've been talking a while ago that life will never be fair, right? And all we need to do is to really accept that it is never fair. But the question is asking us why we cannot free ourselves. Or it means that why can't life be fair? Why it would never be fair? Because we have different capacity and ability. That's the answer. Okay, let's go to number five. When life is not fair, who is responsible? Who is responsible for an unfair life?
I think I don't try to make every people become fair. I just focus on my capable. I think so.
In your capacity? I guess it's very difficult to to blame someone. If you say, "Oh, we have to blame the government. Why our life is unfair?" We have to blame our parents. Why life is unfair? I think it's difficult to do that, right? Because there are many factors in our society. So I guess that the easiest thing to do is really to accept that life is unfair and just really work hard to get what we want in life. Okay, so let's have more talking points. Are the following conditions fair or unfair? You just have to tell me why. Letter A, poor people suffer from famines, but the rich eat. Is that
Uh,
fair?
feminist, what does it mean?
Famine is hunger.
Hunger. Maybe the money can buy everything.
Do you think it's fair? Letter A is fair or not?
I think that the fair when the richer earn a lot of money, and money also the same thing, they can buy everything.
So that's fair. Okay. Letter C, let's go to letter C. Ex-convicts are never allowed to forget their past. You know what's ex-convict?
Mm,
Those people who kill people and they've been in the jail but they were freed, and they said if you kill someone, you are not allowed to forget what happened in the past. You have to remember it always. Is that fair?
I think that is fair.
Okay. D, students without money have to drop out of school.
That's also fair.
No, everything is fair about you, Cam. I think let's not continue. Okay, letter E. Haves make more money than have-nots. Those people who are rich make more money than those people who are poor.
Mm, I think that really fair.
Also fair?
Yes.
Okay. Letter F, the gorgeous people, gorgeous. The gorgeous people make more money, get promoted faster, and have more socially desirable marriages than the plain. Very bad.
Yes, I think so. And you can saw the people on the news. There are many Miss World in Vietnam. They sell their body with a higher price, about 30 $30,000 a
Yeah,
lot.
I saw that on the news,
Yes,
right?
maybe on the next fest. Yes, and I think that that's really fair when everything become a product for selling out.
So you agree with that, Cam?
Yes, I think
Oh
I
my
agree.
God. Okay, let's go to letter G. The handicapped have difficulty finding jobs even in areas where their disability is irrelevant.
I don't remember the meaning of handicap.
Handicap is when you cannot function well. For example, you don't have 5 fingers.
Ah, okay. Yes, I think the handicapped in this situation maybe it not fair for them.
It's unfair. Because, for example, the job is only to read. Okay? Your job is only to read, but because you don't have complete fingers, you cannot have the job.
Yes.
Okay, so let's have letter H. Everyone pays the same sales tax and indirect tax regardless of means. It means, regardless of your job, you need to pay the same sales tax and indirect tax. So this is my
Uh,
question to you a while ago.
if my government can control and to make every people always to pay the same tax for our government, I think we should to do that, and that is fair for each people.
But I think sales tax is really equal for everyone.
Mm,
When you say indirect tax, those are the taxes that we pay for products. For example, when you go to grocery store and you buy a lot of food, you have to pay 3%. I think even if you're rich or poor, we pay the same, isn't it?
yes, yes.
So there is no debate on that because we are actually doing it already. Women are not conscripted.
Conscript. I don't know the meaning of conscript.
Cons conscripted. It means that they don't go to military service.
Uh-huh. Um, Women are not conscripted. I think maybe in my country the women uh, not allowed when they want to joining military,
Mm.
but in many other countries that's pretty normally, and that is unfair for the woman when they want to join military because there are many women really strong and they really talent.
Come in Egypt, I think it's in Egypt, women must. women must join the military. So here in Vietnam, are women allowed to join the military?
Uh, I think in the front of military like service, my government allow the woman, but
Mm.
in front of battle, I think our government not accept.
Ah, just offices, office works.
Yes.
Okay. Last, married women are treated worse by their employers than are men or single women.
Married women are treated worse by uh, their employees than men or single women. Yes, I think that is a problem in many other countries, and of course in my country. When the woman got married, they will less opportunity
Mm,
when when they compare with a single woman or especially with a man.
mm. I think, but do you think it's fair?
Um, I think if I were the employer, I think
Mm.
that is not fair. But when I were in the businessman, I think that fair because the woman got married, they have to spend many time on the company for take care her kids or her family. So that's why they are effective not high than the single woman.
Effectivity. Because of course you are thinking about business. Business is business. But when you think about the welfare of the person, it's not only in Vietnam but to many countries. When the pregnant woman comes back to the work, she does not have the same position anymore,
Yes.
right? She will be demoted. When you say demoted, have a lower position. That's unfair. Okay. So we have four opinion samples here, Cam. So all you have to do is to choose one.
No, maybe the two paragraph because that is a shortness.
Two paragraph or second or one and two.
Second,
Okay.
no, there are many new words for I can understand.
No one is responsible for failure except the one who has not succeeded. It means that if you are successful, it means that you already overcome a lot of challenges through intelligence, your skill, your determination, your motivation. I think it's you can relate to this, Cam, because of what you said a while ago. You told me that you have a good motivation when you were young, and it makes you who you are right now. Your success, you think that life is unfair, but it's not. But it's not. It's because your parents motivated you to be hardworking, isn't it?
Yes.
You just agree.
I think for the fair or unfair depend on each people. And with the most people, when they more rich, they feel easy to feel comfortable with their life, and at that time they feel the life really fair. And I think the unfair does happen with the poor people when they concern a lot every time. And the problem not either fair or unfair, because that's either true. We can change. We just to change ourselves when we just focus on the to make a higher capable. I think so.
guess it's true. Like in the society actually, I think that the laws or policies are just made for poor people. Why? You are correct when you said that we cannot avoid that life is unfair, but you can do something about it. When you are rich, it is possible that you can pay for the law. So it means you can escape. But if you're poor, you cannot pay, you cannot escape, then that will make life unfair. It means we need to be rich.
Yes, the best way try to be rich.
Ah, okay, let's have the useful expression in number one. Remember that life is neither pain nor pleasure. It is serious business to be entered upon with courage and in a spirit of self-sacrifice. Life is a serious business. Do you agree?
Mm, yeah, I think so.
So are you serious in your life right now, Cam?
Mm, I think when we think about X life people, same the business, I think that is the right thing we can compare because in life we have a main responsibility, and the most important thing we have to do is try to make our life become better. That's also the same in business when the businessman also try to earn the profit a lot. And like in many other situations we have to face every day. So the same in the business when we also to face with many problems in business, and when we control our life, or the same with the businessmen control their job, I think at that time we can achieve many better results. So that's why I think the life also the same is a business.
Like a businessman. You're really talking like a businessman, Cam. Okay, let's have the last expression. The art of living is more like that of wrestling than of dancing. The main thing is to stand firm and be ready for an unforeseen attack, like the coronavirus. Unforeseen. Do you know what's wrestling?
No, I don't understand.
Wrestling is a game.
Yeah.
It's a, no, not a sport. A sport. So they said that the art of living is like wrestling, not dancing, because you need to stand firm and be ready if someone attacks you. Do you realize it's like the coronavirus? Then
um
we
I
don't know
think
that the coronavirus will come.
mm, mm, dancing also the funny that we dance with the music, the and everything in fun. That's
Dance the dance without music.
but the game, I think we have to become the winner, and
Oh, very deep.
so that the same is life.
Hmm. So you need to be a wrestler
And life really difficult than dancing.
because you don't know how to dance. That's the reason.
Um,
There is a funny story, Cam. I just want to share to you about the coronavirus because I met a new teacher now. And then we talk about what happened during the coronavirus. So she said during the coronavirus, she doesn't have any work. And then she rented an apartment in Hanoi. Then I think her boyfriend cannot send her money because they're also having difficulty in Saudi in some parts in the world. And so and She actually saved money in a piggy bank and put like $50 million or any amount of money, and that money saved saved her during the coronavirus
Mm.
because she was able to save maybe like 10 million. And so I guess that's a good example of number two. You need to be prepared all the time.
Yes. And in the crisis, money is the king.
Money is the king and queen. Not only. Okay, Cam, do you have any questions about life as being unfair?
I think the life is unfair or fair depend on each people. So I don't have any question.
Yes, it's definitely true. Life is really unfair. That's resolved. We cannot change that. All we need to do is to change the way we think and to continue to improve our life so that we will not experience unfairness. Okay, that's it for today, Cam. Thank you very much. And I
Yeah, thank
hope your life today will be fair. Goodbye.
you. Goodbye.